Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Meet Your Heroes, because today is a Terminator Day, which I'm very excited about. This is Jake. Jake very kindly drove his 03 Cobra up here and has been standing in the sun with us in a very, very warm, anonymous canyon somewhere on Earth. These are awesome. Yours looks really clean. You pull up, it's a really nice white. It's got a great stance, good wheels. What have you done to this car? So tell people how long you've owned it and what you've done to it.
I've owned it for 3 years. Basically, I bought it with just exhaust. So I put aftermarket X-pipe, Bassani catted high flow cats, JLT intake, Accufab throttle body and ported intake, Pully, custom dyno tune by GRC Performance. What else? Suspension wise, H&R Springs in the front, Motorsports coilovers in the rear, using the stock Bilsteins, with custom spring rate, 400 pounds, caster camber plates, 4-point brace on the bottom, and then bump steer kit, aluminum bushings for the steering rack, all the urethane bushings from Motorsports for the IRS in the rear to keep it tight, and then
It's basically tighten up the rear so it doesn't move around as much.
Yeah, a lot less deflection. It talks to you more when you're driving. Wilwood 6-piston calipers in the front with two-piece rotors, and short shifter, stock gearing, and then it makes 480 wheel, 470 torque. That's custom dyno tune.
That's it, dude. My twin turbo LS could blah 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 blah. No, I'm just kidding. I'm really trying to remind everybody that power has gotten out of its mind, and it's not just LS motors. It's like everything. You can get so much power out of everything. So it's almost making fun of my own brain. You're like, oh, it's 480 wheel. My brain's like, there are cars that make more than that. You don't need that. 480 wheel is a ton. It sounds like you've done all the smart stuff. Like you've really tried to make a comprehensively modify the car. You know, a little bit at a little bit at a time everywhere. Instead of going, I'm gonna do all the springs first, and then I'm gonna do all the power. It's like a little. So it's very even. Yeah,
all the chassis was all redone, welded in sub-ring connectors, and all the bracing, brakes, and then the power was after that, just to make sure everything was level. Now that the suspension's all getting sorted.
Sorry, everybody, we had a battery die, but that's fine. So we're gonna get on the road before it dies again, and we'll continue with your mods list, which is I think about as long as a law book volume, or rather a law book collection. Your clutch take up is nice and early. Clutch is pretty stiff.
Yeah, it's a Mcleod aftermarket.
Mcleod is the famous Scottish Mustang builders.
So I put that in so it'll handle 800 horsepower, because the goal eventually is to put a Ken Bell in and it'll make a 600 wheel.
That's a lot. Oh my god, what a good sound. So, for the people, you may see another Cobra video a week or two before this, and that one had a stripped interior. It was lighter by about 300 pounds, similar suspension mods but not quite as many. And these cars for me, it's honestly the earliest YouTube video I can remember watching that was about cars. Before I can't remember the first Top Gear I saw or where I got it, but I can remember someone made a video called Black Snake. You're all laughing right now. Do not Google Black Snake. And it was shot in 140p or 240p, and it was just a black Mustang with a modified supercharger and exhaust, and it rips a second gear burnout from a stop, and I was just like, I have never seen vehicular violence like that in my life. It just immediate tire smoke, immediate tire tracks, and then I started learning about the powertrain in these things and how corked they were out of the factory and how much they're capable of. That was fourth gear roll on, we'll go from third. So out of the factory, these were 3,400 pounds, 390 horsepower, 390 foot-pounds of torque. You had more power than the Cobra R before it for for $20,000 less, which probably offended a lot of those people. And it was at the same time, basically, when they made the Ford GT, both cars overbuilt. And I don't know if it's because each car had a short deadline, so it's better to overbuild something than underbuild it. You know, Ford kicked ass when it came to both of these power plants, and both of them have been able to take tremendous amounts of boosts and modifications without a hiccup. So what I feel from this right now is it's similar to the other car. These things corner really flat. Like, your car feels very even front to back. It's got a lot of stick, not a ton of body roll. You just can't feel really anything through the steering wheel. And that's not your fault, Jake. I know it's funny how. So I asked Matt about this. Actually, wait. Whatever I was going to say is not as important as that. That sound is addictive. So I asked why he went with the Cobra rack, because I got back from driving it, and like this one, like, it's just not very communicative. And it's the best rack you can get from Ford, but you need to do so much tire and suspension work to get it to talk to you, to, like, I guess, solidify a lot of the joints and whatever movement is happening between the front wheels and the steering wheel. So have you noticed a change in steering feel from when the car was stock to all the things you've done?
Yeah, it's much better, turns in better. It has aluminum steering rack bushings, so it talks to you a little more. The next suspension mod will be a full K-member brace with tubular A-arms and coilovers, and that will also move the geometry of the front wheels 2 inches.
2 inches out?
Forward.
2 inches forward? That is significant. And I'm not trying to crap on your steering feel, or, like, it's, I don't know if you've driven other, like, sports cars or what your experience has been. It's like, I was so impressed, that I am so impressed with how these feel on the road with cornering ability, and they feel, pretty nimble considering their weight. It's just, it's an older hydraulic unit, and there's a lot of, we've come a really long way, I guess is what I'm trying to say when it comes to steering feel.
This is a little bit tighter than a GT. The Cobra Mars, you can't get anymore.
That's what I heard.
I was going to swap that in, but you can't find it.
That's the unicorn, right? Like, that's why, Matt went with a Cobra rack, because it's the best you can find that will fit, the Mustang cars, because the Cobra R just doesn't exist. Its power delivery is really smooth and nice. Brake feels really good. Is there, 6-piston Wilwood, you said?
Yeah.
I mean, there's no slop in the brake pedal. It feels really good. Ergonomically, the pedals are funny. A lot of Fords I've driven have that the gas pedal is, a couple houses down from the brake pedal. So unless you're like full braking, it's really hard to heel toe. Like, it's hard to heel toe with the side of your foot. I had to use my actual heel for it. But carrying nice speed. What a sound.
And my feet are so big, I actually use my pinky toe and other toe.
Yeah.
I can flip it while I'm braking.
If you can't tell, Jake's 8 feet tall. Like, I have wide feet, so most cars I can do the side thing, but the distance between the brake and the gas here is much too big for me. So there was a little bit of a crest right at the exit of that corner. This just soaked it up really nice. It did not move the body at all. That is impressive. So you were talking about custom spring rates before, and how some people go out of the box and maybe shouldn't do that.
Yeah, so if you call Max Motorsports, they have techs, and you tell them what you want to do, where you want to go with it, you track it, you autocross it, you canyon it, you daily it, they'll give you a spring rate according to what you tell them.
So what did you tell them? Like, what has been your mission with this vehicle?
So basically, a lot of people make these, drag cars. I didn't want it to be a drag car. It's got enough power as it is, so I spent probably 4 times the amount of money in the suspension rather than motor, because I wanted to be able to hang with the M cars and M3s and M2s and the Canyons, and it does.
It really does. I was trying to get rid of the exhaust apologize. We're trying with audio. This is the auto leveler, but it's a really loud car. I'm trying to project and channel my 4th grade theater teacher.
Yeah, so I told them it's a weekend car, and I autocross it occasionally, and I go through the canyons mostly.
And it feels it. I think, I don't know if it's maybe that all the hype around these is around drag racing and highway pulls and top speed because they make so much power. It's like, well, if that's what I can do, that's the audience it draws. And so that's all I've seen about them. And then, you know, when I took that other car for a drive and taking this car now, like, I think they're underrated as far as their handling ability. Or maybe people just, that's reverse, right? Is it people don't know, or they just haven't been used for that? Yeah,
I get a lot of surprised looks when I catch 911s real quick or M3s real quick in the canyons. They're like, how? Like, they'll stop and pull me over and go, what? Like, that's not a GT, is it? I'm like, no. It's got a few things done to it.
I think the handling potential of these cars is not being talked about enough. Because everybody talks about this. It's flat. It just builds and builds. And it's not a crazy, terrifying, like, it's a progressive power band. It's not you hit it at 2,500 RPM and boom, the tires are on fire and all the power is right there. It's just, it builds nicely. Oh my God, what a good sound that is. So unique. Unless you own a Hellcat and you take out a lot of the sound deadening, because there's so much in modern cars today. Wow, man. Corner's great. It's really easy to place the nose. The front visibility is very good. You know, the hood falls away because this was before they cared about pedestrians getting hit by cars, so you got a nice slope to it. Trying to find the heel toe. Should have worn boots today for this. Brake pedal's really nice. And I already wanted one of these cars because I thought they would just be a really fun modern muscle car that you can just, you know, do second gear clutch drops and rose tires, and they've got a great sound. I think they've got a really cool, like, presence to them. It's very sinister looking. And then I find out they also turn well. What's your mission with it? Because you autocross it and you can in it, but then you're going to put 800 horsepower in it.
Yeah, so the next mod will be a front K member where it changes the whole bracing. It drops 45 pounds off the front, moves the front 2 inches, like I was saying.
That's a lot of weight, and then you move it forward.
And then there'll also be coilovers in the front. And then, yeah, we'll do a 2.6 Ken Bell most likely. You know, and that would be pretty much it. I don't know where else to go from there.
But are you still going to be doing the same kind of driving? Like, are you going to be it's amazing. You're going to show up to autocross and be like, I have 800 horsepower.
Yeah, you don't have to use all of it.
You will be a master of throttle modulation, my friend. That will be very impressive.
Yeah, I'm kind of questioning it now. I was going to wait till the front key member to do that later, but now that I got the rear end all sort of at Max Motorsports, I really want to do the front now because I was shocked at how much better the rear end sticks with the coilovers. I really want to do the front now.
It's great, and it's not oversprung. You know, it's not so stiff where it's bouncing over these little imperfections, these wrinkles in the road. But it's not so soft where we're wallowing around and kind of leaning over it. Man, it feels really good. I know I keep saying that, and I need to get a thesaurus.
Stock brakes just couldn't hang. They got roasted, so I spent $1,500 at Wilwood, and I never had brake feed again.
It's worth it. They feel really good. This is gonna get very loud in a moment. What a car! What a car! And you know, the guy how do you handle this? But really composed. You have done the good work. I think it's really easy. Well, it's really easy when the power is so accessible, like the aftermarket power is so accessible, it's so tempting to just throw money at that and go, you know what, I'm just going to scratch that itch real quick and get the 600 horsepower and then I'll do everything else.
Yeah.
And going the other way is more rewarding because this car is plenty fast. So you don't, if you jump to 600 horsepower right away, you're going to get bored of it.
It'll be unmanageable, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because even the factory power with all the stock components, it would wheel hop, it would kind of track weird the rear end, we kind of get lost. Now it talks to you. I know where the rear end's at all the time now.
Very good. I think I'm going to pull off here and we're going to end it before the cameras die again because the cameras are getting a little hot through the windshield. Thank you for bringing this out, man. This is really, really cool. And like, truly, I have just lusted after these cars since I saw that video. And every time I see them, you don't see them a lot. They're not common, especially not in Los Angeles, really. And they're just they've got such a presence. And then you know that they have this power to back it up. And there's so much available. The aftermarket support's really good. And then finding out that you can make them into like a Canyon carver, it really, it's not helping me get over my want or my need to own one of these. That's the problem. I feel like it's a cool fish out of water too. Like you said, you catch up to a Porsche or a BMW and they're like, what is that? Like, what's under there?
Yeah, I was surprised at RS5 the other day.
Second, the shifter is super tight and notchy. Really, really short throws. You kind of have to just know where they are. But wow, man. Wow. You may see one of these in your rearview mirror in a canyon or at a road course, and you're gonna be like, no, that doesn't make sense. That can't be. And it will be. Wow, I'm very excited to see where you go with this. I can't even talk. I mean, I have trouble speaking anyway, which is why I have this job. It's a super great fit. But when you add more power and you do the front end, and just seeing you continue to take it in the direction you're going, which is the correct direction, is really awesome. So I wish you a lot of luck with it. And
yeah, when I get finished with it, I'll bring it back.
Absolutely, bring it back. We'll get a runway. Because it'll be terrifying. World's biggest autocross course. And I'm just gonna laugh the whole time thinking about you showing up at autocross and it's like 800 horsepower. Like that's what the Optima people have.
It's close to 700 horsepower, but
that's bananas. It's ballistic. Thank you so much, dude.
No,
this is super cool.
Thank you, it's a pleasure.
Worked great. Everybody, thank you very much for watching. New one takes every week. I'm doing them and Matt's doing them. I'm doing more fan cars. He's doing press cars and weird race cars and some other really cool stuff coming out. So keep your eye on that. And check out the podcast on iTunes, Android, wherever you get podcasts, or join us live on YouTube. And you can ask questions while we talk to our guests. So thank you guys for watching, and we will see you later.